For billions of years, life dictated by Earth's natural rhythm. We lived in harmony with the sun until the digital age disrupted everything. Discover the rhythm that rules our lives.
For most of human history, waking up was a quiet process. People opened their eyes when the sun rose, felt energetic during the day, and naturally became sleepy as it grew dark. Today, millions of people require jarring alarms just to drag themselves out of bed, relying on caffeine to survive the morning. We stared at bright screens late into the night, then suffer through our days in a haze of fatigue and anxiety. Researchers call this chronic exhaustion social jet lag. Our daily routines have become disconnected from the natural environment, leaving us constantly drained. We feel this way because we are actively fighting a precise biological timekeeper called the circadian rhythm. This invisible clock dictates when we sleep, when our tissue repairs itself, and when our brains process memories. Take a look at this diagram of the brain. Deep inside the hypothalamus sits the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN, a tiny cluster of cells acting as the master controller for your entire body. It functions as a central conductor, sending a strict schedule outward to nearly every major organ, ensuring your liver, heart, and lungs operate in perfect sequence. To understand why this ancient system rejects our modern lifestyle, we have to rewind 3.8 billion years to see exactly how it was built. Long before complex organisms existed, the Earth's rotation created a rigid, unavoidable reality. Life was subjected to continuous, predictable cycles of extreme sunlight followed by total darkness. The earliest bacteria quickly adapted to survive this cycle. Some of the first organisms to develop biological timing learned to predict the sunrise. This allowed them to harness the sun's energy in the morning while organizing their delicate internal repairs for the night to avoid daytime ultraviolet damage. By the time early Homo sapiens emerged around 300,000 years ago, our ancestors were synchronized with the sun. Without clocks, human biology relied entirely on natural light to trigger our daily functions. This chart maps out our internal daytime rhythm. As the sun rises, light hits the eye and the brain triggers a release of the hormone cortisol. Core body temperature and muscle strength rise. The body is chemically optimizing itself for hunting, gathering, and intense physical exertion during daylight hours. As the sun sets, that entire system reverses. Cortisol production shuts down to save energy. Body temperature drops. Then melatonin, the sleep hormone, floods the brain, forcing the body into a state of rest so it can heal injuries and consolidate memories from the day. Natural selection favored humans whose internal clocks matched the solar cycle. Nightly rest became a survival strategy, ensuring energy was saved and tissues were repaired when visual hunting was impossible. Humanity eventually developed technology that allowed activity past sunset. Around 1 million years ago, early humans began gathering around controlled fires, staying awake to cook, socialize, and share knowledge. Yet this technological leap kept our internal clocks intact. The dim, warm orange glow of a campfire does not contain the specific light frequencies required to suppress melatonin production. Our ancestors stayed up a bit later, but their brains still knew it was night. Even as the agricultural revolution moved humans toward permanent farming 12,000 years ago, humanity remained bound to natural light. Farmers still woke before dawn and ended their labor when the sun vanished. Ancient civilizations across the globe built their societies around this biological reality. From the Maya to the Egyptians, daily schedules, calendars, and rituals were all designed to follow the natural movement of the sun. For millions of years, human civilization and our early tools adapted to the rules of our biology. We built our lives around the rhythm, rather than trying to erase it. That changed in the late 1700s. The Industrial Revolution demanded a new kind of human worker, one driven by mechanical output rather than the position of the sun. With the widespread adoption of mechanical clocks, factory managers instituted 12-hour shifts. For the first time in human history, vast numbers of people were forced to work deep into the night, resulting in widespread sleep deprivation. The severing of our connection to the sun accelerated as cities expanded. Early gas lamps began illuminating streets, forming a bridge between the gentle glow of a campfire and the glare of the modern electric grid. This diagram shows exactly how our modern digital landscape overwrites our biology. White and blue light from modern LED bulbs and smartphone screens hits the retina. The eye interprets these specific frequencies as midday sunlight, shooting an electrical signal straight into the SCN. At midnight, a glowing screen sends a false signal that halts melatonin production. This forces the digestive, cardiovascular, and endocrine systems to operate out of sync with the actual time of day, leaving the body's internal timing in a state of constant conflict. We are currently living through what biologists call an evolutionary mismatch, a scenario where our environment and technology have changed, but our physical bodies remain identical to those of prehistoric hunter-gatherers. We now have decades of clinical data showing the physical cost of this mismatch. Chronic circadian disruption is directly linked to higher rates of obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. Doctors are now actively developing a field called circadian medicine. Instead of just prescribing a drug, they are analyzing our ancient biology to figure out exactly when our bodies are most receptive to medical intervention. They are finding that certain blood pressure medications perform better when taken at night, working with the body's natural temperature drop. Hospitals are even installing dynamic lighting systems that mimic natural daylight cycles to support patient recovery. This rhythm is so deeply embedded in our DNA that even when humans leave Earth, we have to take it with us. Space agencies must constantly adjust artificial lighting aboard spacecraft to simulate sunrises and sunsets. Otherwise, an astronaut's physical health begins to deteriorate. We cannot upgrade our biology to fit the digital age, but we can actively control our daily habits to align our modern lives with our internal clock. It starts the moment you wake up. Getting outside and exposing your eyes to natural sunlight within the first hour of waking acts as a reset button. It triggers your morning cortisol, elevates your alertness, and starts a countdown for when you will fall asleep that night. In the evening, you have to protect your melatonin production. That means reducing bright blue light from screens, cutting off afternoon caffeine so your nervous system can wind down, and ensuring your bedroom remains dark and cool. We've spent nearly 4 billion years evolving in sync with the rotation of the Earth. True physical health in the modern world isn't going to come from trying to invent a new internal clock. It comes from finally respecting the system nature built for us.